The party was on a Thursday, one of those corporate, bonding things held in a rented lounge with soft lights and expensive chairs no one sat on properly. My wife had gone ahead after work. I stayed back, pretending to finish something urgent, when really I just didn't want to make polite conversation with people who knew her better than they knew me. By the time I arrived, the room was already loud. Music hummed under overlapping conversations. Laughter bounced off glass walls. Everyone looked slightly unreal in the dim lighting, like cutouts placed carefully for a photograph. I found her across the room, deep in conversation, and she waved at me without breaking her sentence. I waved back and drifted toward the bar. That's where I met her colleague. She was standing alone, scrolling through her phone with the same bored intensity I probably had. We made eye contact. She smiled politely. I nodded. A minute later, we were talking. People do when they want to avoid feeling invisible. We started with nothing. The venue, the food, the strange playlist. She complained about deadlines. I complained about traffic. Neither of us mentioned names. She assumed I worked there. Correct her. I assumed she knew my wife. She didn't mention it. It felt strangely easy. After a while, her voice softened. The joke stopped landing. She leaned closer, lowering her volume. "These parties always make me feel worse," she said. "Why?" I asked. She hesitated, took a sip, then said, "Because everyone pretends they're fine." I waited. "I'm not," she added. I didn't rush her. Learned that silence is often an invitation. "I'm involved with someone," she said. "And it's complicated." I nodded, neutral. "He's married," she continued. Something in my chest tightened, but not enough to stop me from listening. She talked carefully at first. She was testing how much she could say without being judged. Then, slowly, details slipped out. They worked late together. He complained about feeling unseen. He said his marriage had become functional. He texted her every morning. He hated spicy food, always parked in the far corner of the lot. He called her when he couldn't sleep. Each detail landed quietly, like dust settling. Fourth one I knew, not with drama, not with shock, with recognition. I felt it in my stomach first, then in my hands. A faint numbness spread, as if my body was trying to protect me from reacting too quickly. She didn't notice. She was focused inward now, finally telling someone the truth without consequences. "I don't even know why I'm saying this," she said. "You're a stranger. Sometimes that helps," I replied, and I meant it. She talked about guilt, about waiting, about hoping he would figure things out, about hating herself for believing him. "I know it makes me a bad person," she said. Answer. Because I wasn't thinking about morality, was thinking about the way my wife had started placing her phone face down on the table, about the late meetings, the sudden gym membership, about the emotional distance I'd tried to explain away as stress. I'd known something was wrong. I just hadn't wanted to name it. Weeks earlier, after a quiet argument that never reached resolution, had sent an anonymous report to HR, not accusing anyone, just flagging inappropriate boundaries between departments. Felt cowardly then, indirect, almost pathetic. I'd forgotten about it, until that night. While she was talking, senior manager approached our area. He didn't smile. He scanned the room once, then walked directly toward us. "Excuse me," he said. "Could I speak with you for a moment?" She froze. "Me?" she asked. "Yes," he replied. "Privately, please?" Her face drained of color. She looked at me, confused, embarrassed, searching for reassurance I didn't give. "Right back," she whispered. I nodded. She followed him toward a glass, walled office near the back. No one else seemed to notice. Music played. Glasses clinked. Someone laughed too loudly. I stayed where I was. I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel powerful. Empty. Later, my wife found me by the window. "Why are you so quiet?" she asked. "I'm just tired," I said. It wasn't a lie. We left early. At home, nothing dramatic happened. No shouting, no thrown objects, no cinematic confrontation. We sat at the kitchen table, still in our work clothes, and I told her I knew. She didn't deny it. She cried quietly. I didn't. We talked until morning. Some things were said. Some things weren't. Weeks have passed now. We are still married. We are not the same. Trust is no longer automatic. It's negotiated daily like fragile Tadgera territory. Sometimes I think about that conversation at the bar. About how she trusted me with her truth because she thought I was harmless. About how I listened without revealing myself. About how power doesn't always look like confrontation. Sometimes it looks like sitting still while the world rearranges itself. Didn't win. I didn't lose. I learned who I was when I finally knew.